Is your blood sugar good, or is it higher than normal? In this video, you'll see the 7 most important warning signs your body gives, which you should watch out for to investigate and know if you may be with diabetes. And why is it important for you to understand more about this type of disease? Simply because, according to studies, every 10 seconds someone dies in the world from complications related to diabetes. Diabetes kills 3.5 million people on the planet each year and is predicted to increase by 25% in the next decade. So, stay tuned. This video will be divided into 2 parts. The first video is about the initial signs and symptoms of diabetes, those you can see or feel something is wrong, the warning signs. And the second video, the most important, about prevention. Some measures that can cause your risk of becoming diabetic to decrease, what habits you should make and the foods you should consume to avoid this disease. So already subscribe to the channel, activate the notifications bell to receive the warning of the next video. And also share with your friends and family. Many lives can be saved with your help. Come on. Do you have pre-diabetes or diabetes, or do you know someone who does? What are the 7 warning signs you should be aware of, that your blood glucose may be higher than normal? 7th symptom, urinating too much. Are you peeing too much? Did you know that the word and quote, diabetes and quote, is from the Greek for and quote, siphon and quote, yes, too much urine. Uncontrolled and quote, mellitus and quote, comes from Latin for and quote, honey and quote, since before doctors tasted pee and saw that it had a sweet taste. When people with decompensated diabetes pee, they can fill the toilet with ants. That's because the urine candy is sugar that your body is releasing. Your body simply can't get the sugar you want and releases it with urine. And peeing out with sugar dehydrates the person, because glucose takes with it water, causing osmotic diuresis. That's why the diabetic also feels exaggerated thirst. The mouth gets dry, the throat dries up, because he's peeing with sugar and he's dehydrating. Urinating too much, drinking too much water are classic diabetes symptoms that you should be aware of. 6th symptom, fatigue and tiredness. It is not that fatigue and tiredness when you sleep poorly. On the contrary, sometimes you are sleeping well and feel tired all the time. It can be a symptom of diabetes. According to the American Diabetes Society, more than 60% of people who have just been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes feel a sense of exaggerated tiredness. It's simply the second most common symptom of diabetes. This has to do with a relative lack of sugar within cells and too much sugar in the blood. That is, sugar does not enter cells in a correct way, and cells are left without energy, causing tiredness and fatigue. 5th sign, skin changes. Pay attention to your skin. There are 2 major changes you should look for. The first is called acanthose nigricans. They are dark spots on the skin that form especially in the folds of the neck, armpits, or groin that can be soft and velvety. Look at your neck or lower arms. The skin is darker than normal. You rub sponge, loofah, ointment, do not lighten. It's not dirt. It's a sign of insulin resistance. Acanthose nigricans says you have a high chance of having diabetes or having diabetes in the future. Why does this happen? Often in pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes, your body can produce excess insulin. And this excess insulin causes normal skin cells to divide more quickly. For people who have darker skin, these new cells have more melanin. And it's this increase in melanin that produces spots on the skin. And the Second change you should pay attention to is these wart-like lesions, acrocords. Where do they appear? In the neck, under the arm, in the groin, in the places that appear those darker spots. On the skin. It also has to do with insulin resistance. If you have diabetes or prediabetes, controlling glucose well causes these fibroepithelial polyps to stop arising. Fourth symptom, tingling and burning. Do you feel burning or pain in your feet and hands? Did you know that diabetes and prediabetes are the #1 causes of burning feet? Yes, high glucose attacks the nerves, causes diabetic neuropathy. And almost half of diabetics suffer from diabetic neuropathy. Numbness begins in the feet and usually shows a boot pattern, where numbness is rising from the toes to the legs. And, an interesting thing, when numbness hits the middle of the calf is where the fingers and hands get involved. And pay attention to whether high glucose is hurting the nerves. Is also compromising your vision and your kidneys. And if you're a man, this nerve damage can lead to impotence. I know that the heat in the feet, numbness are uncomfortable and painful, but this can be a warning sign that your body is suffering. Third symptom, frequent infections and inflammation. When blood glucose is not well controlled, it can affect your body's immune system, defense, increasing the risk of infections and inflammation. That person who has never had anything but begins to get sick, acquiring pneumonia, urinary tract infection, and skin diseases such as boils, folliculitis, and candidiasis on the genitals, is signaling something wrong. It could be diabetes. What do fungi like? Sugar. And they will appear in the warm and humid areas of the body, such as the mouth, genitals, armpits, and groin. They usually cause interference, but can also cause pain and local burning. Another type of infection common in diabetics is gingivitis. This is because the high level of glucose in the blood can increase glucose in the saliva, favoring the growth of bacteria. These bacteria can trigger not only gingivitis, but also periodontitis, which is an inflammation of the gums and bones that support the teeth. If left untreated, periodontitis can cause teeth to become loose and even fall out. It is important to note that diabetes is an important risk factor for periodontitis, becoming about 3 times more frequent in people with diabetes. Therefore, if you are having many infections, especially in the mouth, it may be diabetes. Second symptom, blurred vision. If you are not seeing well, seeing blurry and blurry, this may be a symptom of diabetes. Again, if you have high blood sugar levels, this can also affect the sugar in your eyes. This causes the eye lens to swell and change shape. When this happens, the image you see becomes blurry. This is why in some cases diabetics experience blurred vision. Keeping your blood sugar in check is critical to the health of your eyes. It is important to note that diabetes is one of the leading causes of blindness in adults worldwide, increasing the risk of diabetic retinopathy, cataract, and glaucoma. First symptom, exaggerated hunger and weight loss. Diabetes can significantly increase your feeling of hunger, especially for sweet and sugary foods, in a manifestation known as diabetic hyperphagia. A person feels hungry all the time because the body interprets that he is running out of energy, increasing hunger in an attempt to report this energy. In addition, hormonal changes occur in the regulation of appetite, mainly due to the interference of insulin in the hormone leptin, which plays a role in the feeling of satiety. With reduced leptin levels, the person continues to feel hungry even after eating. Even so, a person can lose weight because glucose is not being used properly and can be excreted by urine. Since the body cannot use glucose as a source of energy, it seeks other sources, often breaking muscles. But wait, you might be thinking, and quote, I'm relieved, I don't have any of these symptoms, so I'm not diabetic, and quote. However, it is important to remain calm, as it is still possible for you to be diabetic or pre-diabetic. This is because diabetes is a silent disease that often has no symptoms. Surprisingly, 1 in 3 people with diabetes in the world are unaware of their condition. In Brazil, more than 16 million people have diabetes, and another 40 million are at risk of developing it if they do not take preventive measures. The global prevalence of diabetes is alarming, affecting about 10% of the world's adult population. This statistic continues to grow exponentially. In 1980, there were 108 million diabetics in the world, and today that number exceeds 537 million. But why is the number of diabetics increasing so rapidly? The main factor is obesity. The world population has been gaining weight at an alarming rate, mainly due to changes in diet. We are consuming far more food than ever before, and the food we eat is increasingly full of ultra-processed, low-fiber and high-calorie foods, dyes and flavorings. This unbalanced diet is directly related to obesity, especially central obesity, which involves the accumulation of fat in the abdominal region. How to find out if you are diabetic or pre-diabetic? This can be done through blood tests. The most common test is the measurement of fasting blood glucose. Normal values are below 100 mg per dl, while values between 100 and 125 mg per dl indicate pre-diabetes, and levels equal to or greater than 126 mg per dl confirm the diagnosis of diabetes. In addition, there is the hemoglobin test A1C, HbA1c, which provides an average of glucose levels in the last 10 weeks. Normal values are below 5.7%, while values between 5.7% and 6.4% indicate prediabetes, and 6.5% or more confirm diabetes. Another option is the oral glucose tolerance test, not what. Blood glucose level is measured 2 hours after ingestion of a sugary solution. Normal values after 2 hours are below 140 mg per dl, while values between 140 and 199 mg per dl indicate pre-diabetes, and values equal to or greater than 200 mg per dl confirm diabetes. Just one test is not enough to determine whether you are diabetic or not. To obtain an accurate diagnosis, it is necessary to confirm with new tests and evaluate other indexes as well. We have reached the end of this video. It is essential to be aware of the signs that your body may be emitting so that you can take good care of your health. Like the video? If so, don't hesitate to enjoy the video. Also, please remember to share with others so that more individuals can benefit from this valuable knowledge. Thank you for watching and look forward to the next video.